Hello and welcome to your third notes video in our genetics unit. This video is dedicated to learning about non-Mendelian genetics. Previously, what we have learned about has been Mendelian genetics. Mendelian genetics is when two traits have a dominant and a recessive, meaning that if somebody is heterozygous, they have a dominant and recessive allele, they're going to look dominant, no exceptions. Non-Mendelian genetics is the opposite of that. So what we previously learned is that all Punnett squares you've done so far have been Mendelian traits. In Mendelian traits that only have two possible versions of a gene, dominant and recessive. For example, pea plants are either yellow or they're green. That's it. If someone is heterozygous, or a plant is heterozygous, it's going to look like the dominant allele. In this case, as you can see from this Punnett square, big Y, little y, that means it's heterozygous, it's going to look yellow. You're not going to see the recessive green trait at all. This is not true in non-Mendelian genetics. In non-Mendelian genetics, some traits have a dominant allele that is not fully going to hide the recessive allele. So there are three possible versions of a gene. For example, cats can be black, they can be white, and when they mix, they can make gray. When an organism is heterozygous, it is going to look like both the dominant and the recessive. Both alleles show. And it can do this in two different ways. The first way that both alleles can show is co-dominance. Think about that co. What does co mean? If you collaborate with one of your friends, or me and my co-teacher. Co means together. So if something is co-dominant, it means that you're going to see both the dominant and the recessive trait together in a heterozygous organism. This might look like the spots on a cow, black and white spots. This could look striped, like we see in some chickens. It can look speckled. All right, it means you're going to see both colors together on an organism. Take a look at these flowers. Purple flower color has co-dominance with white flower color. So, if they are co-dominant, what alleles would a white flower carry? Correct. White being the recessive. In order to look recessive, you need two recessive alleles. Little f, little f. Now, here comes that difference in non-Mendelian genetics. In order to be purple, what alleles would the flower carry? Well, purple means it would obviously have a big F. But in non-Mendelian genetics, because there's three possible physical traits, purple needs to be big F, then it's purple. Now, here are three possible appearances of the offspring. What alleles would a purple and white flower carry? If it's purple and white, it's going to have the purple allele, big F, and the white allele, little f. Big F, little f. This can look like stripes or kind of an ombre or speckled. This is what those children would look like. Here's what the Punnett square for that would look like. If we have a heterozygous for striped flowers. So heterozygous is striped. Big F, striped. Big F, purple. Little f, white. If we cross two striped flowers, what will their children look like? So we put the big F, little f on the top, the big F, little f on the side. We drag those letters into the boxes below. Drag the letters into the boxes below. In the end, one out of the four squares is big F, big F. Using our chart, what color is that one flower? Purple. That means there's a 25% chance that they have a purple flower child. Two of the boxes have big F, little f. Using our chart, what color is that? purple and white. Color those flowers purple and white. 2 boxes means there's a 50% chance that they have a purple and white flower child. This last box is little f, little f. Using our chart, we can see that means white. There's a 25% chance that their child is a white flower. This is different from Mendelian genetics. Remember that in Mendelian genetics, purple and white doesn't exist. An offspring is either purple or white. In Mendelian genetics, all 3 of these boxes with the big F would be purple. In non-Mendelian genetics, specifically with co-dominance, heterozygous is going to look like the dominant and the recessive because it has the dominant and recessive allele. When we do questions about this on a test, I will let you know if what we're looking at is co-dominance so that you know what big F, little f means. The other way that the heterozygous can show up is incomplete dominance. Think about this word, incomplete. If I give you an incomplete on an assignment, it means you did not fully do that assignment. Incomplete means not fully. Incomplete dominance means that when there are 2 different alleles, like dominant and recessive, so heterozygous, they do not have a full dominance over one another. So the traits will instead mix. This is what we might see in cats, where if there's a black cat and a white cat, when they mix, they make a gray cat. So the heterozygous organism is a solid color that is a blend of the 2 alleles. This organism does not look white. It doesn't look black. It looks gray. It's a blend of these 2 or a mix of the other 2. So this happens a lot in labs. For example, all right, labs, black fur has incomplete dominance to yellow fur. The allele for black fur is big B. The allele for yellow fur is little b. What alleles would a brown puppy have, knowing that brown is a mix between black and yellow? It would have 1 black allele, big B, and 1 yellow allele, little b. Heterozygous is a mix. This puppy does not appear to be black, and it does not appear to be yellow. It is 1 solid color that is a mix or a blend of the other 2 colors. Here's how this might look in a Punnett square. So, big B, black. Little b, yellow. When we mix them, it's brown. Big B, little b is brown. What would happen if we cross 2 heterozygous brown puppies? So, no, not heterozygous. This one has homozygous dominant and heterozygous. So, if we drag and drop those alleles into the boxes below, 2 of the boxes are big B, meaning that 50% of the puppies are black. 2 of the boxes are big B, little b, meaning that 50% of the puppies are brown. There are 0% that are yellow. This is incomplete dominance. Let's review. Incomplete dominance is when the colors mix. For example, in flowers, if red mixes with white, it comes out pink. You get pink flowers. Co-dominance is when you see both colors together. So, a white cow and a brown cow would end up with white and brown spots because you see both colors together. It could be spots, it could be stripes, it could be speckled, but you see both colors. There is no mixing, just both colors. This is all non-Mendelian genetics. If you have a question on a test, and I tell you, or I will tell you, it is co-dominance or incomplete dominance, you will not have to guess. Assume, if I do not tell you otherwise, that what we are talking about is regular Mendelian genetics, which means that if something is heterozygous, big Y, little y, it's going to look dominant, like the big Y.